Good morning, everybody, and a happy Wednesday morning to you. It's hump day, guys. We're halfway there. We're going to make it. We're going to make it to the end of the week, and it's going to be a great week. As you can probably tell from the thumbnail, there's a lot of information going on. Yes, we have more royal family stuff, and then we got a lot of Harry Meghan stuff. You just won't believe some of these stories that are coming out. I'm in shock. So let's just jump in and start covering stuff, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start off with Wimbledon and the fact that William and Catherine showed up with Prince George and Princess Charlotte. Absolutely amazing. This was for the men's singles final and, of course, for her to present the trophy to the winner. So, of course, here they come walking. Catherine looks absolutely gorgeous. She made a point of stopping to talk to everybody. And then, you know how it goes. They stop for the bat boys and the bat girls. You know what I love? Catherine was talking to this person and they goes, let me introduce you to George and Charlotte. She didn't use their titles. She was just like, here are my children, George and Charlotte, say hello. You know what I mean? No airs, no fuss, no muss. Fabulous. Now, standing in the lineup up there was British tennis star Arthur Ferry, and Princess Catherine walked up to him and handed him a birthday card because it was his 24th birthday. How sweet is that? She remembered it was his birthday and she went out of her way to bring him a card. I mean, that's just typical Catherine. Very thoughtful. So after everybody was greeted and said hello, they started walking across, the walkway where everybody immediately looked up and realized that this was the royals crossing over. And they all started yelling and screaming up at the top. Woo! You know how that is, even though the kids were with them. Now, you would think that following several appearances, the children would be used to this, but apparently they're not. You could tell that Charlotte got a little nervous. And William needed to give a little moment of reassurance. That's what was noticed. William put his hand forward. There were pictures that showed William putting his arm on Charlotte's back and some other pictures of Prince William touching Prince George's arm and, just making sure that the kids knew not to worry, that everything was okay. I mean, yes, I can understand they've been there a million times before, but you've got people yelling at you. I'm sure that's very unnerving. Now, of course, as the family came down, Catherine got her standing ovation, as she always does. Let me just say, I don't usually get into the whole fashion aspect of it, but I do love this green dress that Catherine was wearing with the cape on the back. I mean, you can tell it's perfectly tailored to her, shows her figure beautifully. She knows how to dress for her height, her size, and she knows what looks good on her at this point in her life. So anyway, she got the standing ovation, and then, the fun started for the family. The four of them sat down together in the royal box, but as usual, you had Catherine all the way on one side with Charlotte next to her, and then George next to Charlotte and William on the other side. And I just love the way Charlotte and Catherine were staring at each other and smiling at each other. You can tell that they have a really good mother-daughter relationship. That's really important, at certain ages and certain stages. And also, apparently, Charlotte had a question, and so Catherine just very patiently explained to her whatever it was she needed to know. Now remember, the heat wave is still going, and so fans were handed out, the hand fans, and George had an electric fan. So people were asking, why was he in a suit and tie? Well, apparently Wimbledon does have a strict dress code in the royal box at Center Court. It's a 74-seat area, and men have to wear a suit or jacket and a tie. That is protocol set by the All England Club. So, George did it, William did it. That's it. A lot of people wanted to know where Louis was because he is the age that George and Charlotte were when they made their debuts at Wimbledon. But believe it or not, it may have been that there wasn't space. I know it sounds crazy, but invitations to the royal box are coordinated by Wimbledon officials, not the British royal family. And the space is used to entertain friends and guests at this tournament. So there may not have been a seat for him. The family had a great time. The German Chancellor was even introduced to Prince George. So I'm going to put some very lovely pictures up now. Sit back, watch, and enjoy. Now, when it was over, Catherine went down to center court and handed Italy's Jannik Sinner the gentleman's singles trophy at center court. He won in 4 sets, defending his title, and he defeated the German athlete. So, Catherine, again, is patron of the All England Lawn Tennis Club. She capped off the tournament by smiling very brightly and handing out the traditional trophies. Just as an FYI, this last contest lasted almost 4 hours. It went for 3 hours and 46 minutes. And Sinner, they're saying that the German guy captured a tight opening set in a tiebreaker, but that Sinner ultimately took control of the baseline and the serving rhythm to close out the match. Well, good for him, and congratulations to the runner-up as well. I'm sure everybody played the best that they could. Now, of course, when this was over, they all met up inside, and Catherine and William again congratulated him. George was there. Charlotte was there. They looked like they had a nice conversation. I'm assuming this guy talks English. But one thing I did hear her say was that George plays tennis on the weekends. It's a little misleading, but just so you know, when Catherine spoke with Arthur Frey, the guy that she gave the birthday card to, he said, "The princess came to my match in the second round. It was great to have her there, and we spoke a little about that. And she wished me luck for the rest of the year, congratulated me for these 2 weeks. And I know the whole family are tennis fans, so I told her if the kids ever want to hit, I'm free." He basically offered the kids free tennis lessons. How lovely. There were a lot of stars seen there at the courts today. You had Dustin Hoffman, Ben Stiller. Jennifer Lopez was looking really stylish while she walked in. You had Nicole Kidman. Nicole was seen walking in and sitting down next to Dame Anna Wintour. And on the other side of her, talking, was Sienna Miller. And I mean, all big stars, and they all looked like they were having an absolute fabulous time watching the game. Good for them. I'm glad everybody was getting along. That's nice. This was a big week for the Princess of Wales, and everybody was talking about all the colorful outfit choices that she made. I myself couldn't help but wonder if this was, again, I don't want to say she's petty, but if this was a little jab at somebody for all the colors that they wore on their last visit to the UK for their last things, where they claimed that they were dressing like a rainbow. You guys remember that? All right, you guys, it's the fashion line from Carol M. and Remoulade Sauce. Enjoy. This always brings me back to Meghan in 2019 when she went to watch Serena Williams, and she brought Lindsay Roth and another friend of hers, and there were rows of empty seats around her. And of course, that was an extra layer of protection. And somebody else went to take a picture of themselves, a selfie of themselves, and Meghan sent security scurrying over to say, "Don't take a picture of her." And it was like, I wasn't taking a picture of her. I was taking a picture of the court. Like, get a grip on yourselves. What this showed me, even back then, was she was no Princess Diana, because Diana would never have behaved in this manner and kept people who had seats, who had paid for seats, out of the section just because she was sitting there. All right, you guys, we have another royal wedding on the horizon. Princess Margaret's grandson, Sam Chatto, is going to wed his girlfriend Ellie. They lived together in London. He proposed with a porcelain ring that he made himself. How wonderful. The king is happy, and so am I. Congratulations, you guys. Let's move on. Let's move on to our Harry Meghan stuff. It's being said that Harry is really desperate to return to his old life after wrapping up his 5-day homecoming trip to the UK. We already know what happened during that trip. I'm not going to rehash it, but they're saying that Harry feels angst. When I read articles like this, I wonder, did he feel angst when he recorded that thing on the Freedom Flight? Does he feel angst during the 6 years that he has attacked his family in so many interviews and in his book? I wonder. Now, I want to thank this Twitter person for pointing out that even with everything going on, the press is ripping them a new one all throughout the UK. And I also want to thank Madison White on Twitter for pointing this out. It's important. I think it's important to note that Harry will never meet Thomas Markle. And the reason for that is all it would take is Thomas to talk to Harry for Harry to realize he got played and lied to. As for Harry returning to the UK, there was a lot of backlash from British citizens and critics. Insiders noting that large sections of the public questioned his presence and voiced intense disapproval. Now, while his trip was primarily supposed to be focused on the Invictus Games, the media narrative very quickly shifted to ongoing personal and legal problems. I mean, one of the big issues Harry had, which left him very angry and embarrassed, was the media expose revisiting stories from his younger years, describing him as a party prince, a practical joker. The article's timing was very upsetting as it surfaced right after he lost his high court phone hacking legal battle. Now, this article was written by journalist Charlotte Griffiths. She recalled a weekend spent with Harry in 2011. She said he was a party prince. She talked about him sticking a pill in his mouth. And of course, Harry said the article was a trumped up hatchet piece designed to be published when he was at his lowest. No, I don't think so, honestly. Tom Bauer has spoken out and said that Harry is, quote, the man is poison for the monarchy. And I think all the damage he and Meghan have done over the last 5 years, there was again more damage and the monarch's popularity has fallen. It needs to rebuild its popularity and rebuild its respect for the people. And Harry's presence in Britain undermines that effort. So while Harry and Meghan have been very vocal in their criticism of the monarchy since they quit royal life 6 years ago, King Charles is willing to forgive and forget. However, the people of the UK are not. Tom Bauer also said the best thing Harry could do is disappear for a year after this last return to the UK. We know we had all this bizarre back and forth with the Buckingham Palace. Then we heard that he totally lost the High Court claims. And then he called the High Court a whitewash and the security row and everything. So what Mr. Bauer said is he should go back to Montecito, disappear for a year, and then start again trying to build relations. But first he has to prove he can be trusted. And I think the last few weeks of real speculation about will he or won't he be doing things, where he would be staying, whether Meghan is coming, will the children meet the grandfather, all that shows that he is completely untrustworthy. Harry is a hypocrite for using the media he claims to hate to leak damaging stories. If he had handled things quietly, the two of them could have had a private family visit, but they didn't want privacy. They wanted a massive public spectacle for branding and publicity. And I happen to agree. It is being reported, just as an FYI, that William was really angry because he sees that Harry basically got a reward for the treachery, disloyalty, and the cruelty that he and Meghan spewed on the family. Yet Charles wants to see his grandchildren, and everybody understands that. But people think that Harry and Meghan had no right to be on royal property, but they got their way as usual. Next up, Krista Benson took this picture on Twitter and made the following, which people are so talented. Watch this. Now, as far as Meghan, she's being dragged for that reunion that took place, and people are saying, don't believe the hype. This was not a surrender. It was simply a grandfather wanting to see his grandchildren. People are confusing compassion with capitulation. A big thank you to Jenny P on Twitter. This is what she thinks happened during the visit, and I happen to... All right, we're going to move on now to the next big story that came out. People are saying that Meghan Markle has been frozen out of the high fashion world after what happened at the Balenciaga drama last year. Now, Danica on Sky News had something to say about this that was really telling. Listen to this.
We're going to end on Meghan Markle. The Duchess of Sussex made headlines over the week with her appearance at the Balenciaga fashion show in Paris. Well, it's actually been revealed that she wasn't even invited. She actually reached out to a Balenciaga designer and said she'd love to come. And next minute, Michael, she was there. She loves a camera.
Meghan Markle, she makes everything awkward. She makes everything. She just should have stayed a royal and rolled the thing, because she acted like, oh, I don't want to be famous. I want to be left alone. And now she's calling up these designers and inviting herself. How awkward. How awkward was that phone call when the guy's like, oh, no, she wants to come. Like, who pays for the hotel? Who pays for the flight? Who picks up the tab? Oh, yeah. When her number comes up on caller ID, let it go to voicemail.
Yeah, great advice.
So much fallout was there from her last event that an invitation to the latest Balenciaga couture show left her off the list. They didn't want her there. Then this was pointed out. Watch this.
Interaction with the Balenciaga creative director. Let's look at this. It's so cringe to watch, isn't it? So awkward. But fans are slamming Meghan for this, calling her the Duchess of Hypocrisy for attending Balenciaga's show, seeing as there was a lot of controversy around this brand and an ad that was seen as quite creepy that involved children.
That's right. So the ads were very creepy. They were offensive, actually, more than creepy, I think. And they were children posing with teddy bears in bondage gear. And Balenciaga's brand was in the toilet almost overnight, really. Yeah. The problem for Meghan in going to a show, even if there is a new creative director she's very, pally with, is that one of her brands is protecting children in the online space. So how do you front up at a fashion show dressed all in white, irony noted, the international colour of innocence? How do you turn up to that show knowing that the brand has this terrible history in the way they've portrayed children with adult themes? And so the Duchess of Hypocrisy, I think is a pretty valid label to attach here.
And then, of course, you have mean Meghan Markle. Do you guys remember this?
Kinsey, Meghan Markle has been criticised for laughing when a model tripped during the Balenciaga fashion parade in Paris this week. Yes, she quickly recovered there. Meghan, that is, not the model. But it's been noted, Kinsey, that Meghan Markle was about the only one who burst out laughing there. Is she a mean girl?
I'll answer that question. Yes, she's a mean girl. All right, let's move on to our next story. All right, remember I told you Harry was going to go on that podcast? It's the Joe, Marry or We'll See You Later or We'll See You Now podcast. Nobody had ever heard of it. So they asked him a lot of unusual questions. What's your name? What's your job? What's your title? When they asked him about his grooming routine, he goes, I take a shit, a shower, and a shave. Obviously, I trim my beard every 5 or 6 days, just to keep it a bit tidy. And then he pointed to the top of his head and he goes, I get a haircut. Otherwise, I try not to look at what's happening. Also went on to explain, people think I'm ginger, but I'm really sunset auburn. I got bullied a lot at school. I was called Carrot Top. He also said that he does a lot of exercise, boxing mostly, to get rid of his excess energy. Yeah, right. Once again, Harry is trying to twist things. Don't forget that following the revelations in his memoir, he recounted mocking a disabled teacher, how he and his school friends would mimic and make faces at an older matron at the school who had a physical disability that made walking difficult. But now he says he was on the receiving end. He said that people were so mean to him at Eton. There were cruel insults from fellow students over his appearance. Then they asked Harry, what does he do? What's his title? Listen to his answer.
Hey, how about this one? Occupation. full-time dad, British Army veteran, Prince of England, Duke. But for today, I don't know. What do you want, Duke?
We go with the Duke, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, for today as well, because of where we are.
Okay, yeah, sure.
The inventor. Would you call yourself the inventor or
The inventor
of
the Invictus Games?
Yes.
Inventor, founder?
founder?
Founder,
That's
yeah.
probably the better word.
All right, okay,
Yeah,
great.
fair enough. Yeah.
Duke/inventor, yeah. Do you know how to spell inventor? This is a different therapy session to what I'm used to. It's supposed to be made to feel comfortable.
Most famous person in your contacts?
Probably Dylan Holly or James Haskell.
Decent.
So instead of saying I'm an advocate for online safety for children, or I'm this or I'm that, no, he says I'm a full-time dad. That's basically just another way of saying I'm unemployed. Could you just imagine he couldn't come up with anything other than I'm a Duke? Pathetic. And one more little tidbit of information. Both myself and other YouTubers noted that any negative comments placed on the YouTube channel where this went on were being removed. It's not possible to have 5,000 comments and every single one a glowing positive review of Harry. We watched it in real time as the negative comments were deleted by the guy who did the interview. Yeah, so much for free speech. Oh yes, put those comments down, make them good. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell for all notifications. Then go down into the description box where you'll find the link to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, a link to my father's book, which remains up for sale on Amazon, a link to my Amazon wishlist, as well as a physical address. For those of you who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.